Good morning, everybody. Sorry, trying to adjust that. I don't want too much cleavage in the videos. You know, children might watch these. So welcome to Vlogmas Day 3. Now, I usually don't do haul videos. I mean, I kind of do, but not really. I don't do like a lot of people do these haul videos with everything they bought, every coupon they use. I don't really do that. But I went to Goodwill today. And I feel like I really scored. So I'm going to show you guys what I got because I don't know. I never really do these kind of things. So I decided why not for Vlogmas. Well, I'm still showing a lot of cleavage there. Sorry, kids. Yeah, my channel just went from G to like PG-13 right here. Anyway, let's start with the sewing stuff. So if you're a person that sews, you know how expensive this stuff can be. And I'm a real fan of vintage stuff. I might do one of these little talks where I show you guys all my vintage stuff. But I also always find really good bargains on sewing stuff. And this is a perfect example. This is Insulbright. Okay, Insulbright is a synthetic batting that is used for quilted pot holders only. Or anything that's going to receive heat. I mean, it's got a picture of a pot holder right here, right? And it does not scorch when you put something hot on it. So I am making pot holders for someone. And I ordered it online from Joann's because I didn't ever think that I would find it at Goodwill, right? So, and at Joann's, I had to order 2 yards. So it cost me like $10. Well, here's at least a yard at Goodwill for $3.50. So now I have to see if I can cancel the Joann's order because I'm not making everybody pot holders. I'm making 2 pot holders. Like I don't need all this like stuff. First time I've ever made pot holders, by the way. So it's not even something that I'm going to use later. So there's that. And then I love like vintage sewing stuff, even if it's stuff I may not ever use, just because the packaging's so cool. And sometimes it's just, I don't know. So here's a perfect example. I dig that 1960s, 1970s packaging, right? I'm going to get my kerchief out. And look, the back's the same. Very like, and I mean, this is something I might actually use. This is a design that is an interfacing. So you can actually put this straight onto the fabric and then you can cut down the scallops that you want on the skirt or whatever you're making with this. And I was thinking, actually, I want to make myself a very 1940s style house, what they called a house dress. And this might be really fun to do the pockets scalloped or something like that. So that was fun. And, you know, it ended up being 75 cents. It was originally 79. So Goodwill, really taking me to the cleaners on that one. And then this, my sister might get this. Okay, so I always check out the Goodwill area that has like tablecloths because I love the vintage tablecloths, right? And I found this. Okay, I'm not sure how much you guys are going to be able to see of this on the screen, but it is, now these used to be very popular. You could go to the store and you could buy this off the bolt, and it was how to make this insanely ugly Christmas vest, right? I mean, look at this. It's so bad. It's not even Christmas. Look, it's just for like a school teacher. And I can't decide if I want to make it for myself and wear it at Christmas time or if I want to make it for my sister, who until really like the early 2000s was still finding and wearing the ugliest Christmas sweaters you have ever seen in your life. She could win any ugly sweater contest. And this was in the days before they were like ironically funny. She would just wear them. There was one that had bells on it, and we were shopping one Christmas, and she lost me in the store, and I knew exactly where she was because every time she walked down another aisle, I could hear the fucking bells. Sorry, YouTube. Yeah, we're PG-13. Yeah, when she was walking down the aisles. So, but I mean, this is just like, this was too much, and it was like I think it was $1.49. I grabbed it because somebody's getting this for Christmas. Not sure who's going to be tortured for Christmas, but somebody's getting that. So speaking of Christmas, this is the best time if you need to get a little like weird little things at Goodwill. This is a really good time to go. In fact, if you're planning on doing Christmas baskets for people, go to Goodwill because you will find stuff like this. So this is actually rather pretty, and it's very well made. The back is wood, and it's actually nailed in. And I was going to do something for my neighbor, and I was actually toying with the idea of finding something like this because I'm going to do like a box of candy, some little bits of coffee, and maybe some other tchotchke type stuff. And I was thinking it would look really nice if it was laid down instead of being piled into a basket. So I was pretty happy that I found this actually, and this was $2.49. So $3, $2.50, not bad, right? But this is the piece de resistance. And in fact, let me find the price on this because, yeah, $7.49. This was my big purchase of the day. This is the Pampered Chef. I don't know if you can see it. See the side? The Pampered Chef spritzer for making the spritz Christmas cookies. I'm a huge Pampered Chef fan. Having been a chef, I know like good tools make the work of cooking much more pleasurable. Even if you don't like to cook, having the good tools can really help get you through, like make it easier and faster so you won't hate it quite so much if you're a person that doesn't like to cook. I like to cook, so it's not a problem. But these are amazing. This is its incredible thing. And I'm looking at it, and honestly, I'm going to wash it, but I don't think it's ever been used. I think it's only in the plastic. I mean, the fact that they have the box makes me think it's never been used. But I'm looking at them, and none of it looks like it's ever been used. It looks completely new and clean. For $7.50, that was a score. I'm really happy about this because I love making these at Christmas time. I've had several of these over the years, and they were the cheaper ones. And basically, this spring arm just busts after a while on the ones that aren't so great. Also, the older ones have aluminum, and I don't really like to use aluminum, so I was really happy to find this. But now it's confessional time, guys. I have a very deep and abiding love for the 1940s. Very specifically because to my mind, it was somewhat, I don't want to say exactly the birth of feminism, but I feel like as far as pre-feminist history, I think the 1940s was incredibly important to feminism everywhere because we went from women in the 30s being told that they were the weaker sex to in the 40s, the actual government promoting the idea that women could do men's work and that they were needed and that they were valued. And so many women went to work in the war effort and also took care of children and, parents and cooked and did rationing and everything else. It's an amazing time. So anytime I see anything that's 1940s, if I see something that looks like it could have been in my grandmother's house, yeah, it's for me. So I'm going down the aisles. Now, keep in mind, I've been trying to be more minimalist lately, so that went out the window. And I saw this. Now, in all honesty, I believe this is probably 1930s, and that's because of, if you can see this here, we would call this like ombre. This is like a gradient form of glazing, but I thought this was so beautiful. And this middle piece, to me, was just absolutely gorgeous. It's in incredibly good shape. I thought there was a chip in it. It's not. It's actually a chip in the actual painting. Unfortunately, someone has put it through a dishwasher. You can see the marks where the dishwasher began to take some of this gradation around the sides off. But the actual transfer, which is this piece in here, is in great shape. It hasn't been scratched up, which is normally dishwashers just keep running over this and taking it off. So the interesting thing, though, is it has no mark in the back. And that's kind of a strange thing. But, I don't know a lot about vintage, pottery, vintage, ironware, things like that. But I do know that there was something called carnival ware, which actually was around until the 70s, where you could go to the carnival and you could win your sweetheart a glass or a mug or a sugar bowl or, a creamer for the milk. And those were alternatives to what we see now, which is like the cheap stuffed animals. And they were very popular. There were also giveaways. And I remember giveaways up until really the 80s, where if you bought if you went to the supermarket and you bought more than $10 worth of groceries, you could get this serving platter for 99 cents. And my mother did that and actually had a whole set in the 70s that she had bought at the local supermarket. So this may be something like that, and that's why it doesn't have the mark. It also could just be that the mark somehow came off over the years of being hand washed and obviously been put through a dishwasher. But the fact that this had no chips and it was so pretty, and this middle piece, I'm going to show it to you one more time, guys, because it's so beautiful, was just so gorgeous. I'm going to see if a friend of mine might know a little bit more about this. She handles these kinds of antiques and things. But I'm gonna go with maybe 1930s. And this probably in the 1930s was probably considered a very inexpensive piece. It might have been mass produced for like people that wanted something a little fancy but didn't have a lot of money. I don't care. I think it's gorgeous. The fact that it's got so much black detail in it, it was amazing. And it was $4.49. And you know, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, I can use this. I can use this if I, you know, want to put a cake on it. I mean, if I want to make brownies and use this as my brownie tray, I can use it as that. But